So before I became ill, I was very active, had horses for a lot of years. So I was just absolutely full of beans and nothing was a problem. I first discovered that I was ill about December 2000. I went for a scan and that showed that I had a lot of cysts in my kidneys, that I had serious problems. And the person I saw there told me that I needed to start thinking about who I could ask for a kidney. And I sat down and I just totally went to pieces. And I was like, what am I going to do? And then it was just like, well, what is this thing I've just been told? It was a massive, massive devastation. When I got home, I obviously spoke to my husband about it. We were both in a state of shock, really. And it was our 10th wedding anniversary. And we'd been planning a really nice holiday for early the following year. And then you start thinking, is it our last holiday? And in May 2006, I had both my kidneys removed. And it was at that point that I went on to dialysis. The question had been raised that I should think about who I could ask for a kidney. I wasn't really given any indication of who would be sort of a good match or a good person to ask. I found out later that siblings are normally the best match. But I wasn't prepared to actually ask my brother. I knew Steve had his life, he had a family, and I just didn't think that was something that I'd ever be able to ask him.
I'd known Helen had been unwell for some time, so I had a little chat with my kids and then made the call, and we sort of went from there, really.
When he actually rang and said that this was something that he wanted to do, it was amazing.
I think any of us that could have done anything to help would have done so at that stage.
So I just remember looking at Steve and saying, are you sure you still want to do this? And when he said, yeah, of course I do, I was just like, oh, again, just the relief was amazing. Immediately after the transplant, my life went back to normal. It was literally the next day.
Registering on the organ donation scheme is really, really important. The gift it gives to other people, the happiness it brings to so many families.
I guess I'm living proof of what being on the donor register can do. I certainly wouldn't be here today if Steve hadn't given me Sydney. To give somebody the gift of life is the most amazing thing that anybody could ever do, in my view. It was probably a couple of years after the kidney transplant that we realised that I also had polycystic liver disease, and it was quite a bombshell, and it was very difficult for me to walk very far. By early 2013, the sofa was my bed because I couldn't lie down. As soon as I lay down, the pressure was so much I couldn't breathe. I was extremely relieved to be told that a transplant was a possibility. The operation went very smoothly, and things were fine for a couple of days, but it was shortly after that I hit complications. I actually ended up in intensive care for about 6 weeks. And again, I don't think anybody really expected me to come home. I remember 3 chaplains coming to visit me. I remember having this sort of conversation with myself. This is all just too much effort now. Why don't I just go to sleep? And then I remember thinking to myself, don't be so stupid. And thinking about my husband and my family and all my friends. Oh, for goodness sake, I've got so much to live for. And that was almost a sort of a turning point. And it wasn't too long after that, things started to improve. And at that point, then we could start thinking about physio and getting my legs working again, because my muscle had totally wasted away by that time. So I had to sort of teach myself to walk again. I first heard about the Westfield Health British Transplant Games from 2 people at King's, but I thought, well, I'm never going to get involved with that. I don't know. Yeah, I was still very weak, and the thought of walking, let alone running, was still a challenge at that point. So I went online and saw that in 2014 the games were taking place in Bolton. So I went up on the first day, which was the Thursday, and then they announced that there was going to be a procession of the teams, and all the hospitals in their colours were all paraded in. The atmosphere was incredible, and I found it quite emotional. I was really surprised at the scale of the games. There were something like 900 athletes taking part and 2,000 registered supporters, and a large number of supporters were from donor families. After having been to Bolton and watched the games, I decided that it was definitely something that I wanted to be part of. So I thought, okay, well, archery I can do. And I thought, I can't go all the way to Newcastle and only do that. And I thought, that's it, I'm going to do the 100 and the 200 metres. I really didn't expect to win anything when I took part in Newcastle. For me, it was all about just the fact that I could. And then when they read out that I'd actually come third and got the bronze medal, it was just absolutely brilliant. Really, really good. I am really looking forward to the games this year. So I'm going to do my archery again and see if by any chance I can get my bronze medal back, or maybe even do better. The Westfield House British Transplant Games is really important to me. It's an amazing opportunity for people to get together and just celebrate the fact that we are still alive, that we're fit and healthy, and that we're able to do all these amazing things. Anybody who's considering taking part should absolutely have a go. It doesn't matter how good you are, how much practice you've had, just go. I'm pretty sure that once you've been once, you'll be hooked, just like I am now. So I certainly intend to keep going now for as long as I can.